Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling.
Greetings, everyone. I am F. Keith Slaughter, senior servant of the beloved Community Church of Atlanta. Our ministry began 5 years ago with a few dedicated souls who were dedicated to serving our people and worshiping our God. We are a small church. However, since we began, we have slowly grown from a mere idea into a thriving, busy, and dynamic presence in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta, Georgia. The coronavirus pandemic indelibly altered the work of our ministry. The food and resources gap between the poor and others has widened right before our eyes. As the world around us changed, we recognized the need to expand our already established food pantry to include a food sharing component for children and adults in our community. We now serve hot meals, sandwiches, snacks, and beverages 3 days a week and provide emergency food pantry access throughout the week. The times required that we expand our capacity to serve, but we had inadequate facilities needed to do the work. To that end, we recently acquired a historic Pittsburgh landmark formerly known as Little Zion Baptist Church. Our plan is to transition our food pantry and resource brokerage center, including a new day shelter component, into the Little Zion Annex of the beloved Community Church. We need room to grow, and I need your help to make it happen. The food pantry will give community members and their families access to nutritious food in a clean and healthy environment. The Resource Brokerage Center will connect persons to information and benefits available to them, while the day shelter will create space for showers and personal care, cell phone recharging stations, and other help for our unsheltered sisters and brothers. So here's the ask. I'm asking you to be mindful and prayerful around your possible role in helping us to take care of some good people who need to feel the experience of human love, care, and compassion in the midst of their struggle. After considering the possibilities, I ask that you would share your best gift with us to help us renovate the building, put on a new roof, replace the damaged flooring, and rebuild the handicap ramp to make it a bright, healthy, secure space for healing and restoration to occur. I believe that this is good ground. Won't you help us by investing in making Dr. King's vision of the beloved community a blessed reality? You can help us by Cash Apping us at $the beloved community. You may also go to my website, drfkeithslaughter.org, and make a PayPal donation. But however you give, make sure you give to this good and worthy cause.
Y'all know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing.
Come on.
Run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
Mr. Slaughter D call me trap pastor. I talk slow, but you know I rap fast. Right. Hard rhymes, I'm as serious as cancer. Recognize you ain't a slave, you a master. Came here on the bottom of the boat. Right. Can't float like a backstroke. Coming up on the verses that I rode. Every day I slang, hope not dough.
Fight the power if you feel what I mean.
Like Rock Kim said, I'm a microphone pain. Came south on a special invitation. Say a word on the current situation. No delay, no more hesitation. All you fist up, take it with me, sucker.
Yo.
See the scornful. Run away.
What up?
Sheep clothing. Come on, run away.
Take back what you stole from me.
Compensate.
They keep lying, man, and I can't relate.
Yeah, so you think you
Sound good in here today, Craig.
You think you can
That's what I'm trying to say.
Problems. You think you can
Sound good. If it don't sound good, I'm gonna say it don't sound good. But when it sound good, I'm gonna say it sound good.
Man, wherever you go.
Yeah, y'all had me out there Sunday though. Y'all had me out there bad. Hey! What's up, sisters and brothers? Welcome to another episode of the Movement Raw and Uncut. I'm your brother, Dr. F. Keith Slaughter, here, funky fresh in the flesh, exactly like I'm supposed to be up in here on May the 4th. Yep. Yesterday was my 36th anniversary as a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I thank everybody who sent me happy Q-versary greetings and salutations on yesterday. It was cool. Also, it was great yesterday for my colleague Helen Cummins to do what she did. Excellent interview skills were on display on yesterday, and she also looked absolutely beautiful while doing the work. So it was good to see that. This is my daughter's mama on the phone. Let's see what you want. You live streaming internet television right now, okay? Because you called me in the middle of my introduction of my show, okay? So this is a good time. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't cuss either. And you know what? And I got you, it's right up on the microphone so everybody can hear you. All right, so I know that we got to talk about something that I hadn't said anything about, which is our daughter is about to graduate on Friday from the University of South Carolina School of Law at the absolute top of her class as the champion of mock court or whatever. She the baddest Negro in the state and one of the baddest Negroes in the country, and she gonna have a Juris Doctorate, and so there's gonna be someone who can get me out of jail. So
I don't know if she's gonna get either one of us out of jail. She's already said that she's not taking us on as clients.
She's a liar. She just said that. And then when she get this little graduation gift I got for her.
And then she's talking about going to school and get her PhD. I said I don't have time to talk to her about it.
I don't blame her. That's how you get you a backup for your backup. And once you get the PhD, then MSNBC, CNN, somebody gonna scoop her all the way up because she's gonna be an expert in niggerology.
She is. Well, she got that already from her mama and her daddy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, look, I'm gonna call you Black. I'm gonna do what I need to do to be where I need to be. So, and I'm glad you sounded better. I told the people you had COVID and you was trying to get me to take a shot, and I told them I'd be damned. So, anyway,
I appreciate it. Hey, everybody. But I don't want to interrupt your show. I was calling to tell you that I'm planning her party, and I wanted you to make sure you brought some flowers to graduation for her. That's all I was calling.
You know what? My dear wife, Sister Slaughter, already saw that. That's stuff that I don't see, but she saw that. So
bless her heart. Lord knows I don't know what I would do without her.
Yep, she the greatest, and God bless you, and I love y'all. Love you, love Maya, and I was telling people I don't even hate you no more. I don't pray God kill you no more or nothing like that. So
well, while you telling them that, telling them I always prayed for your health and your success.
well, I'm sorry, I'm not that magnanimous. You know, I'm a petty Negro. I'll holler.
And so is your daughter. God knows she is. But,
God bless.
But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm moving slowly, but I'm doing well. And I got a driver today to help me try to get everything together so we could have a nice brunch for her. And I just wanted to call and remind you about the flowers. So
no South Carolina pig for me. I don't eat pig. So please don't
so much to say about that.
Don't have no hog for me.
Okay, can I put you on blast for just a moment?
I don't care.
You used to tell me that shit a long time ago. When I was pregnant with Maya, we would go to the doctor in Union Springs, and you would stop at the barbecue place and get you a barbecue sandwich. You'd be like, if you tell anybody I ate this hog, I'm going to say you a liar.
And I'm going to say you a liar now. Bye. She's like lying. She's lying. This is why, you know, that's why I had to get away in the first place. Anyway, back to the show. So this is what I want to talk about this morning, and that was my big girl's mama, and she getting ready, man, to get this doggone Juris Doctorate, and I hope she's gonna do a PhD too, cause you know, yeah, teach it, you know. Anyway, what I've been talking about the past couple of days is the idea. I've been talking about something that deeply disturbed me to my core because I understand the implications of it all. What I'm speaking of specifically are the words of Kamala Harris. And somebody saying, is he talking about that again? Well, now, finally, others have begun to talk about it. My former colleague and host of the Frank Ski morning show on a local radio station here in Atlanta raised the question this morning after playing an excerpt of what Kamala Harris said. And I've said to you that I ain't got nothing, you know, even though Kamala Harris got a hell of a record, she got some kind of record for black people to defend. I mean, it's hard to defend some of the things that she has done. But I mean, I don't mean that I don't respect her as a black woman that's doing great things, that has emerged to the penultimate height of politics in this country. I ain't hating on her. But what I am is I'm afraid of the longitudinal impact of her false words. She's a wordsmith. She's a master of public communication. You know, she got this thing that she does. She laughs and she giggles. She laughs and giggles. And that's not because she thinks something is funny. That's how she quells the anxiety that emerges out of attempting to do the work of a black woman in spaces that are anti-black, right? And she's mastered that. She learned from the best, one of the best. She learned from Willie Brown. And that brother became, what was he? I don't know what the correct term is. Anyway, he was head of the state of California. He was right below the governor. He was like the president of the whatever, the Congress, whatever they got in California, you know, the state legislature. He was the most, he was the the most powerful person in the California legislature. And she worked with him, Willie Brown, right? And as it relates to their romantic involvement, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. What she did was she learned how to do politics from this black man, right? And so I got respect for her journey. You know what I mean? I ain't tripping because she married to a white man. I mean, hell, you know. I guess she could do something worse. And she did do something worse, which was say on national television on, I think it was Good Morning America, one of them. She said that no, America is not a racist country. So I've been thinking about that, and I've been thinking about how important it is for us to have this conversation, right? So as I was saying, Frank Ski had the conversation this morning and people were chiming in on it, and which means that people have been listening to me raise this issue, raise this question, and somebody thinks that it is as important as I think it is. Somebody out here thinks, and it's clear that that kind of statement will have an impact on our people going forward that we can't even imagine at the moment. We ain't even clear about how devastating a comment like that could be. Okay, Lindsey Graham said it, so what? Tim Scott said it, so what? But when Kamala Harris says it as the vice president of the United States, and it's unfortunate that James Clyburn said the same thing. You know, and I'm on this. I ain't gonna get off it. I've been saying it for all this week. Until we get clear that there appears to be some kind of collaborative effort involving black politicians to gaslight black people into giving up the truth for lies and accepting these lies. We're in the middle of a renaissance among black people where our critical thinking is becoming more acute. We're just about clear on a whole lot of stuff that we was foggy on in times past. We used to think dumb stuff because white people was telling us lies. And now we got these things like this right here. We got this cell phone, we got this computer, man. And we can look up and find truth if we search for it quickly enough, diligently enough. The late great father of black theology, black liberation theology, James Cone, said words, I guess 30, 40, 50 years ago now. He said, what white folks got to understand, and I would add parenthetically that black folks must begin to understand, is that we cannot listen to what white people say any longer. And I would say, and I would add, uncritically. I think we still need to listen to what they say, but we need to listen with a critical ear. We need to make sure that we dissect every word that is spoken, particularly in their attempts to gaslight us into thinking that we don't live in a racist country. This country is racist. This world is racist. It makes no difference where you go on the planet. It's been touched by white supremacy. It's been impacted by those ideas and ideals. I want to share with you, I introduced a term 10, 12 years ago. And the name of the term is domination fatigue. I'm trying to see, I don't know if I can find it in my book. But I introduced the term in this book And I talked about the reality that black people are suffering from what I call domination fatigue. We suffer from being wrong about everything. We suffer from being victimized. We suffer from being discriminated against in every area of people activity, and being told that we're not being discriminated against, being told that there is no racism, being told and being expected to accept that we are competing on an equal playing field. That's just not the case. Man, I don't even give a damn if it's the basketball court or the football field. If you pay attention, you watch the white referees and the white coaches collude with each other to continue white supremacy, even in the area of sport, where playing fields are supposed to be equal. Right now, I even heard about, there's a discussion about, it ain't enough white folks playing basketball. Ain't enough white boy playing football professionally. And something need to be done about that. Y'all, in a non-racist country, in a non-racist world, you don't have those kinds of conversations. So I talked about domination fatigue in this book. Well, it's a new book that I just got hold of the other day. And this sister, Mary Frances Winters, introduced the idea that she called black fatigue. Now, black fatigue and domination fatigue are the same thing. She just called it something different than what I call the same thing. She goes through and she lays out her own fatigue. And what she talks about is just being tired of living while black, living under the designation that white folks have attached a negative connotation to. We all know black is beautiful, black is genius, black is extraordinary. Black folks know that. Most black folks do. But the reality is that we're being cajoled, tricked into agreeing with, at the highest levels of black authority in the country. We see in our people, the black elite, who you have heard me rail against for years, and I've been telling you, I used to say black middle class black people, and middle class black people are black people's problem, but they ain't as bad a problem as the black elite are. The black elite are in collusion with whites to gaslight black people into agreeing with concepts that are ridiculous for the sake of so-called relations and forward movement. Man, I'm not going for it, and I pray that you don't go for it as well. And I'm going to stand on this, and as more people begin to talk about it, we can make sure that this issue does not fall away from the public conversation until we have brought truth to the forefront of the conversation. Yeah, I got the black fatigue, man. I'm tired. And you hear many black people saying the same thing, that they are tired. What? Tired of what? Well, tired of unarmed black men, women, and children being shot down. Tired of what? Tired of being discriminated against when you put in as much or more work than others and receive less from it. Tired of black people being at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to wealth accumulation in this country. Tired of being the last hired and the first fired. Tired of there always having to be the designation that this is the first black person to have ever done this, as if it was something that black people could not have done up until this point if it wasn't something, somebody, some system, some people who have blocked black people from being able to grab whatever type of ring is set before us just outside of our ability to grasp. Sisters and brothers, keep your head up, keep your eyes open, and don't let nobody convince you into thinking that America is not a racist country. It makes no difference what any member of the elite class says. You know what your reality is. Don't let nobody trip you and trick you into thinking that there's something different going on. I just got a text. HC just sent me something talking about the juror Brandon Mitchell's participation in a DC march could help the appeal of Derek Chauvin. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna worry about that today. We're gonna work that out when the time comes. If there's an appeal, you know, as my old mama said, if this white boy don't go to jail for killing this black man, well then this country gonna be on fire. And my mama, an 84-year-old black woman, who, you know, kind of like white folks, she said that. All right. You want to know what the deal is? Let me let you know. Bam, 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 bam. I'm back. I'm up in here. I'm getting it. Yes, Lord. Hey, see that chicken that get hot because I see Fun Leroy over there. I see he got chicken on his mind. I ain't saying nothing about me. I ain't thinking about no chicken. Right. I ain't thinking about nothing. I'm up in here. You know what I came to realize is that what happens is that it's around lunchtime. I generally don't eat breakfast. And what happens is I just get hungry around about now. You know what I mean? Hell, I'm a bad man, but hell, I can't live on love alone. I be needing some chicken in my life. So I'm gonna come off of this situation today. Yeah. All right. So what we talking about? All right. Where am I? All my stuff. Here you go. Here's my news. You ready? On the world scene. So a black man who his wife is describing as a Zulu prince. He's a prince from South Africa, a black man of the Zulu, what we call tribe or ethnic group. All right. I think it's probably the largest group in South Africa of black people. You got the Xhosa, the Zulu, and you also got Bantu and some other people who are in South Africa, you know, different cultural groups. Not to mention the no good ass white folks who've been exploiting everybody in that part of the continent that they ain't even got no business in the first place. But that's a whole nother story. Well, anyway, this brother, the Zulu prince, father of two, who was also a star on South African Idol. You know, like American Idol, the South African version of that show. Well, he and his white wife were in Honolulu. And this brother's name is Lindani Miyini. And he went into, according to this report, he walked into some white folks' house, took off his shoes, and sat on their furniture to speak with them. What they're saying is that he did what was culturally appropriate given his context. He wasn't clear. It appears that he was out of his context. So when he walked into these white folks' house, and I'm sure he didn't get in unless the door was open, he came in, he took off his shoes, sat in a chair on the couch, and asked to speak with them. The white folks called the police on him, and the police rolled up on him and blasted him dead in Honolulu, where he and his wife were vacationing. What she said was, in Zulu culture, you can go to anyone's house, adding that he has the rank of prince in his homeland. And he said, you can knock on anybody's door. It doesn't matter if it's 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night. Neighbors are neighbors. And she said she doesn't believe that her husband had any intention of burglarizing the home. She said, we got everything that we need. There's no rationale behind that argument that he was attempting to burglarize. But when the police rolled up on him, they blasted him. And this is not being covered on national news. You need to be clear. When I say, or when someone says America is not a racist country, y'all, we living in a racist world, not just a racist country. And a Zulu prince is now dead because of it. There's also news that's coming out of I guess it's an international story, but particularly in Africa, there is a shortage of COVID vaccine, and we've been talking about this. But not only is there a shortage of COVID vaccine, there's also a shortage of oxygen. And in countries other than those that are characterized as the G7, industrialized nations, every other country in the world, they on their own. And the thing that people need more than anything else is oxygen. You remember do y'all remember when folks used to say, we paying for everything, soon we're going to be paying for air? Do you not see now that that people got to pay for air? Right? That's happening now. You never thought that you would ever be buying a bottle of water and paying $2.50 for it either, did you? Right? People buying water and people buying air. And folks need air to be able to make it through COVID-19 and are not able to access it if they're not in what is known as a first world country. Also, what is being anticipated on the African continent now is the same thing that is being experienced in the country known as India now. According to Jason Burke from The Guardian in Johannesburg, health officials fighting the pandemic in Africa say they are watching the crisis in India with total disbelief and have warned that their continent may face a similar ordeal soon. Okay? What is this? The latest statistics underline that so far, Africa has escaped the worst of the pandemic. There were nearly 76,000 new COVID-19 infections the third week in April, while India reported more than 400,000 cases on Friday alone. So Africa has been spared up until this point. But you know and I know it's a whole lot of Indians, people from India that do business and that, interlope on the African continent. A whole lot of folks from China, whole lot of folks from Europe, bringing all kinds of different variations and mutations of the COVID-19 virus to the continent. And so Africans are afraid that another wave is going to take the continent. Right now, fewer than 2% of vaccinations that have been administered globally have been administered on the African continent. So I think that, they have reason to be afraid because, y'all, it is just so much that we still don't know about this virus, and it becomes more and more confusing each and every day. And so, again, I encourage you, if you would like the vaccine, to get it. But if you don't want it, don't be peer pressured and bullied into doing something with your body that you don't want to do. Let's see. In South Carolina, racist cracker Francis Butch Gent, volunteer fire department chief, he has resigned because, what did he say? He said this on Facebook, that police ought to stop responding to black neighborhoods because they will eventually kill each other, and then the fake news won't have a story to report. So his ass had to resign. Yeah, because he's a moron and he had to resign. Yeah. So good riddance. Y'all, this is a story that I checked out and I did a deep dive into it. So in Florida, Sharice Frazier of News One is reporting that local authorities have turned an investigation over to the state attorney's office of a Florida principal who paddled a 6-year-old baby in front of her mother, and her mother videoed it. She stuck a telephone in her pocketbook with just the camera sticking out, and she videoed this woman laying this wood on this little, she was I don't know if she was Mexican, but she was Hispanic child. And of course, the principal was a white woman. Boy, I ain't gonna lie, I thought that baby was online. I thought she was pledging. The way she put that wood on that baby. And this is the killer. Because the mama said, what I did, and I don't know if I would have done this, but what the mama said is, the reason that she recorded it, instead of intervened, she said, I sacrificed my child so that people would know what's happening in this school. Right? So you might be saying, well, corporal punishment is lawful in some schools. Not in that school district. It's illegal. It's illegal for teachers to lay hands punitively on a child. Y'all got to understand, man, and I tell you this all the time, I say it all the time. Who do you think raises white men? Who do you think raises white racist men? White racist mamas. And that white racist woman beat that child. And again, the video is out. I looked at the video. I saw it myself. And I was like, whoa, boy, she bringing the heat with that wood. I probably would have came up out of the point on that one, where she brought that funk. Boy, you got to see about your children. Let me ask you this. If white folks will kill you, call the police on you so they can kill you, and they do that to adults, what do you think they do to children who are unable in many cases, in many occasions, to defend themselves, to stand up against the authority that is wielded in the public school system by whites? Google it. 80% or upwards of educators in public school are white women. Why you think we can't get free? Why you think we can't control our minds? When you let somebody else put stuff, somebody who hates you, you turn your children over to them for 8 hours a day? So you can, quote, go to work, and I know you got to go to work. I know you got to go to work, and I know children got to be educated. Don't get me wrong. But you got to be clear where you're sending your children to, and you need to be aware of what they are experiencing while they're there. Straight up. Also, yeah. And this child was 6 years old. I didn't even know that child was 6 years old, and she got wooded. So, and the mama said, she hit my child with hatred. She said, I ain't never hit my child. And this white woman hit her, she allowed this white woman to hit her child, and she said, with hatred. And that also speaks to the fear that many immigrants have of just white people in general. Because they know, all a white woman got to do is pick up the phone, dial 911, and your ass dead. For real. Let's get these local stories out the way, and then we're going to, because I got my special guest in the studio, man, and we're going to talk about everything, and everything else, too. Finally, locally, so they done put the pressure on Keisha, and they didn't have to put too much on the mayor of Atlanta. She is set to address public safety during a press conference today in the city called the A. Over the weekend, at least 15 people were shot. 2 of them died. And the fake ass Governor Kemp, he's putting pressure on the mayor of the city to say something and to do something. So what she's getting ready to do now is go out here and try to appease white folks, because white folks become afraid when people are killed, unless they do it. They don't see no problem when they kill. But when black folks kill, then it's a problem. Right. Even though most time black folks kill, black folks be killing black folks be killing other black people. Most time we kill. Right. But when black people show that they will kill, white people get real jittery. And so now the black woman got to go out and explain to the white folks that she finna to tell the police, that they got a little bit more free reign to drop the hammer down on black people, so that white folks will feel a little bit better, a little more safe. And they probably go, what I figured, what they ought to do? They ought to just put a fence around Buckhead. And we just move all white folks to Buckhead, put a fence around it so they can feel safe. Okay? And then maybe they'll stop gentrifying the neighborhoods that black people live in. Maybe so. We'll see. I doubt it. Okay, it ain't like I was going to see the Atlanta Buzzards. I'm sorry, the Hawks. Or is that the Falcons? It's the Hawks. But it ain't like I was going to go see them. But they saying now that you can go. They are increasing the capacity of the State Farm Center And y'all can go see the Hawks. They're going to let 7,625 of y'all in. That's going to bump up the attendance to 45%. And, yeah, y'all can go see the Hawks. And they got a special section for 500 people who are vaccinated. They got the vaccination section. Sisters and brothers, those of you who are like me, y'all get ready to experience a whole nother level of discrimination now, right? Because we're yet in the middle of this pandemic. They announced on yesterday that herd immunity probably will not be reached. And the reason for that is that not enough people wish to take the vaccine. It ain't just me. It's a whole lot of folks who don't want it, right? And so they say, all right, now we ain't going to be able to achieve herd immunity, which means that ain't nobody going to be able to feel safe, and it's only because of people who don't want the vaccine. Do you see the setup? If you haven't experienced discrimination before, you're getting ready to see it in a whole new, different way. Brothers and sisters, I just feel more comfortable keeping my mask on. And if I had to have one on for the next 5 years, hell, I'll wear it. Because I want to protect myself from others, and I want to protect others from myself, from me. I don't want to give nobody nothing. You know, hell, my wife get tested every week. You know, I give her some sugar every day. So if I got it, she got it. And they said she ain't got it, which means I ain't got it. Okay? That's how I'm rolling. And I'm going to roll like that until something else happens. When we come back on the other side, special guest in the studio, and we're going to talk about it, everything that's going on. Former police officer. And when I talk about this brother, I say police. Usually I say police, but I be trying to give him just a little bit of love because he ain't the police. He a former police officer. Also preacher, minister, scholar, deep thinker. And because of that, we can talk about it. You feel me? Coming up on the other side of the break, Reverend Jeffrey Fauntleroy, and we're going to chop it up, man. The name of this show is The Movement Raw and Uncut. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, y'all. And you're going to see a lot of differences coming up soon. But right now, I just want you to hold on like you've been holding on. And let your people know if they really want to hear truth from an authentic space, to get at me. You know me. You know my record. You know how I get down. I'm doing it each and every day, Monday through Thursday, from 11-ish to 1-ish. All right? Go to trappastor.com. Jump on the platform that you want to get on, whether it's Facebook Live, whether it's IGTV, Twitch, or YouTube. And if you do it on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment as you're doing right now. I appreciate that. And I'll be back in a minute with former Officer Jeffrey Fauntleroy. And we're going to talk about all of it. It's the movement. I'm your brother. We're open.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or sungoddess sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Yep. Live. We live. Sandtown Pub. Sandtown Pub. Place I like to eat. Hey man, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. This chicken getting. Yesterday I had to leave early, so I couldn't pick up the chicken. So I brought it back up today. HC put it in the oven, and now I'm on it. One of the Roy scared to eat chicken on TV. I don't think there's no place where it's inappropriate to eat chicken. You know what? We might start having chicken for communion. Up in here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Frederica Jones, Sandtown Pub. I'm making it do what it do. For a couple of minutes, I was looking at because I don't look at too much white folks on TV, but besides the news, and that is white TV, but that's another story. Is my mom calling? I ain't got Black News Channel. What is on? I'm gonna have to call the white folks and tell them I need it. That ain't on AT&T. We got Uverse. I can get it on Uverse? Okay, I'm gonna have to check on that when I get home. Okay. They ain't got me. They ain't really getting down. But anyway. Well, at any rate, Bakari Sellers, he done got on the gravy train, man. I don't know. I saw him with Real Now and them, Ben Crump. He was like, I might as well take advantage of black pain. I'm tired of being Crump, them, man, and Al at every damn funeral, every black person get killed, and they getting their cut. I don't like that. I don't like to see black people exploit black people. You know, and I guess you like, well, somebody gonna exploit them. Yeah, well, it shouldn't be them every time. Yeah. Even I done figured it out by now. You know, Ben Crump go in. All he do is go in and get the money, right? He go in and they file a suit and they get the money for the murder. But then they had to split the money with him and whoever rolling with him. And I don't like that. I think that's exploitative. And I think it's taking advantage of the deaths of the murders, taking advantage of the pain, the shock, and the trauma that people are experiencing. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Let me get my guest up, because I'll talk about this shit forever. Frederica Jones, Sandtown Pub, chicken ain't playing. And you know what? They saying the Mercedes-Benz is back to 100% capacity. What is it? The other place? That was another place, gathering place, where they say up to 100% capacity. Folks going back at it. By the 4th of July, people going to be butt naked running down the street with no mask on. I might be butt naked running down the street, but I'm going to have a mask on. Damn. Because I don't trust butt naked people in the streets. But at any rate, my next guest, I already told you who he is, so let me invite him to the Black Supremacy Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please join me in welcoming my dear brother, Pastor Jeffrey Fauntleroy. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, sir. I like it, man. Good to be seen. We up in here and see. Helen was concerned about the chicken, bucket being in the picture. I just put that right out there, so the little chicken bass, so it looked like I didn't have no chicken.
The chicken was good.
Man, that chicken was good. And that's what I want to say about Sandtown Pub chicken. The day after.
Oh, yeah, it's always, it's always better. All them ingredients.
Oh, man, it's hitting hard.
To where they need to go.
You got to get that chicken on the bottom of the thing but it's been in the juice.
Yes, sir.
I got to take some of that chicken home with me. I brought it back up here because I was like, I'm glad that we got that chicken. I'm going to eat that chicken. I be damn. And that salad, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's some good salad. I'm going to eat that salad with them onions and pickles. Yes, man, ain't nobody, you can't get no salad like that nowhere else, man.
That's a soul salad.
That's a soul salad for your soul. Anyway, Sandtown Pub. Jeffrey Fauntleroy, what's been good, brother?
Hey, man.
Look good. Got the fresh cut.
Hey,
I'm
just trying to get smart, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, man.
We had our sessions last week. 2 classes, that
for your doctoral program.
Yeah. And that was interesting. And so
you're at Howard, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, School of Divinity.
Yeah, Howard School of Divinity.
That was interesting.
Alton Pollard still there? Alton Pollard, is he still there?
Oh, that's a familiar name. Mm-hmm. Kenyatta Gilbert. Wow, I can't even think of the name.
Don't worry about it. It'll hit you. That's what happens when you become a man of a certain age.
Yes, sir.
When you become a man of a certain age,
yes, sir. I can't remember my name.
You can't remember your name, but you do know where every bathroom is. You know what I'm saying?
Along the route.
Okay. And we do have emergency exits to all bathrooms because
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you're a man of a certain age, you must know things
sir.
of that nature.
Yes, sir.
Craig, he don't know yet. He don't know yet. He still walks slow to the bathroom.
Man, please.
I walk. Man, when I was a young man, I used to walk to the bathroom real slow. And I use it real fast. Now that I'm a man of a certain age, I go to the bathroom real fast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I use it real slow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, that is the scariest thing, looking out that hole right there, bro. I got to tell you.
With me looking back in there
man,
at you.
I had to take a third look.
Yeah, I just be looking at the office at the people. Father Roy, we haven't talked since the verdict. I think the last time we talked, it was about 2, 3, 4 days before the verdict.
Yeah.
And so we got the verdict.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
You knew it was going to happen just like it happened?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, bro. You when it comes to this police shit, you know this. Like you are. That's why you're a consultant, because you know this. You know how it goes. You know the ins and outs. But have you ever in your life seen a police chief and other higher members in the police department testify against a patrolman? Have you ever seen that?
No, because the offense has never been videoed and put them in a situation where they had to tell the truth.
Okay.
So this was so egregious that it violated everything that department and law enforcement period stands for. So in his testimony did not just represent Minneapolis. His testimony,
Arredondo, you talking about?
Yeah. His testimony started the process of what needs to start happening now in policing. And
you think it's the wave of the future?
I think that it can be. It can start. I think that he sees now that the momentum is there and the wind is shifting in that direction. Now, we've got something we have to do. The same way, and I hate saying this, the same way they held the foot on their neck when Chauvin held the foot on the neck of our brother George Floyd, we now have the foot on the neck of an oppressive operation that has been jacked up from the beginning, only it's even worse now. So this is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to do detailed restructuring. And I've, because this is my project and because I'm intimately involved with this, I've been doing a lot of research lately into some of the areas that we have failed at that got us really to the point where we're at. And one of the things I looked at in even preparing for this is to ask you this question. Can you name the name of an officer who frequently patrols this area and that you have maybe had a conversation with?
I can.
Oh, you can?
I got to be honest.
Okay.
I can.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, brother police stopped by, I guess it was 2-3 months ago. And I was on the parking lot over here and he rolled in. Somebody had called somebody for something on the street or whatever. And he rolled in and I told him, nah, bro, we ain't got no problems over here. You know what I'm saying? Just roll through how you roll through, be available, and we'll call you if we need you, but everything cool. And he said, well, I just want you to know that and his name was Jackson, I think.
So that was in response to a call.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. How many have you saw? Who do you know that just rolls past, not on a call, but just rolling through, that you stop and say, hey, what's going on? Well, they say, hey, what's up, Doc? You good? Reverend,
no.
everything's good?
No, the windows be rolled up and the tent be on. And the tent be darker than the tent on my car. You know, and they just be up in there doing their thing.
So see, that's an issue. And I go back to when I first came on, we walked the beat. You didn't even think about no car. You walked the beat. You got to know the neighbors. And I knew the neighbors because I knew most folk because I was from that town. But I didn't know them the way I learned them. You learn when people go to work. You learn when the kids go to school. You learn the animals they got in there. You learn everything about that because you see this group of people 8 hours a day.
But Fauntleroy, that kind of policing don't exist no more.
Well,
you sounded dinosaurish.
Well.
Because the people don't do that. Police don't do that no more.
Well, I'm not saying as much as walking a beat, but I mean just the mere fact of interacting in the neighborhood where you are. That's a loss.
You know what I think, and I don't think this is in fairness, and whoever would have thought I would be fair to police, but in fairness to the police, the disconnect between persons who serve and persons who are served has grown in every area of people activity, and that gulf is becoming more and more wide. I mean, we was talking about this morning, you know, my wife and my mama, we was sitting at the table, we was talking, and they were talking about the inability to connect with the doctor or the doctor's assistant. Right? You get a pre-recorded message with all kinds of buttons to hit, but no human being to talk to. At a place where I'm employed, I've been trying to make contact with a representative for 2 or 3 months, and I finally just got a text back that says, email this. You ain't gonna get no human, but you might be able to get your problem solved if you email this email address or whatever. I think the same thing is happening all over the world. I mean,
I agree.
You can't even talk to the people at the grocery store lady don't want to talk to you no more. It's a shield up. You know what I'm saying? It's a shield up in front of everybody. Don't nobody want to talk to you. No one wants to respond to your request for the level of service to be commensurate to what you're investing in the product. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, and I think it ain't just police, but I think police doing the same thing that everybody else doing, just retreating into their silos and saying whatever gonna happen. The computer doing the work.
That's interesting. That is interesting because you are correct. It is part of the world that we live in. This era of social media, and even this pandemic has caused us to retreat even more into our silos. We were just discussing about churches that have opened up and have seen a lack of people returning.
Right.
Because people have gotten comfortable being at home now. And Lord knows, don't be over an hour.
Right.
Because it's a wrap.
Right. It's just, you know, it's technological death. Technology is dealing us death, and because those who create the technology profit from it and benefit from it, they don't care about the side effects that impact social development and, you know, interaction between human beings. Because now we just, hey man, talk to the computer about this. You know what I mean? It's
I try and digressing a little bit.
Go ahead.
Try to look for, first of all, I always look for Black-owned anything.
Right.
And I always find that there's more of an interaction, more intimate interaction because it's a smaller establishment, but the level of care seems to be much more authentic than some of the big box places. It's a difficult trend to deal with. But it is that.
And sometimes I feel like, you know, a dinosaur, and that I'm nostalgic you know, and I'm just longing for, you know, the way things never were.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was just in here thinking while you was talking, how I wish I could just go into a old store in the country and buy me 5 slices of rag bologna and a pack of crackers and a double cola.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's and you got to really seek. I think you turned me on to SOWAN Books. SOWAN, I think you, the largest black-owned book company in the nation. It's out in L.A. ESOWON. I think somebody.
It wasn't me, but
it was here.
But now you done hit me though.
Yeah,
so
somebody hit me here. And you know, like I go for them first before I go to Amazon.
Okay.
Because I know who I'm contributing to.
Right.
And I've called there a few times.
And maybe they ain't got to pee in a bottle. Maybe at SO1, maybe they ain't got to pee in a bottle and they can go to the bathroom. Without getting docked. Or getting fired.
Yeah, well that's true.
Amazon, you can't go to the bathroom.
Really?
You got to pee in a water bottle. That's what a lot of people do, man. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff out there. Amazon, and I hate that I contribute to it.
Yeah.
Damn, they just give me my stuff so quick, and I ain't got to spend no gas money.
Well, you know, SO1 been real good, and then I could call there and I actually get someone.
Okay.
And ask them about, you know, a particular book, and if they don't have it, they will get it.
What's the name of that?
ESOWON. SOWAN.
ESOWON,
the largest black distributor in the nation in LA. Oldest too. ESOWON.
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
SO1 Books, Los Angeles.
Yes, sir.
All right, they got a new customer thanks to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They good people, man.
They open SO1 Books, black owned independent black owned book shop. So if they ain't got it, they'll get it and they'll send it to you. There you go. That's what it is. All right, I'm down. Yeah, you ain't gotta twist my arm on this one.
This is what you taught me,
man. I use black soap, brush my teeth with black toothpaste.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sleep with a black woman.
Let me get back to this police thing, man. Because there's some interesting things out there. There's some stuff, man, that's disappearing in the news cycle. For instance, there's a case, man, that I'm really looking at and getting the details on, where this brother, man, got a ride with a police officer.
I'm hip to that. Go
to
ahead.
his house.
Right.
Then gets a call about him and his brother having a feud, and he said, man, I'm gonna kill him.
Right.
And the same police officer gave him a ride, shot and killed him.
Right.
We ain't heard about it.
He was on the telephone, and he said he thought the telephone
was
a gun.
Yeah.
So I want to know.
But it's something real interesting.
I own firearms, and I own several firearms. And I mean, I'm a wild dude. I do a lot of stuff. I've never stuck my 9mm or my 38 or my 45 or my 22. I never or my long guns. I've never stuck them up to my head
and talked
into them.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone could ever mistake
that case,
a cell phone for a firearm.
Listen, what we said. He gave him a ride.
Yeah.
Previous to this shooting.
Right.
So there was some.
I saw the body cam on this though. He got out the car and started blasting.
And there was some conversation before that.
He had a little conversation.
There was some conversation before that in the car when he gave him a ride.
Yeah. Oh yes. I saw that. Right. He had given the dude a ride home.
I'd like to know what that conversation was about, Doc.
Because what happened? His car broke down or something, and the police gave him a ride home. He gets to the house. His brother is having a mental
I'd like to know
episode.
What happened on that ride.
Now, see, you just got me there.
I just like to know what happened on that ride.
Because my mind goes, bam, and
I think the brother. It seemed it appeared that he lived an alternate lifestyle,
which is how he got a ride in the first place. Sound like an episode out of Tyler Perry, Have and Have Nots.
I ain't trying to put nothing out there, man.
Damn. Y'all know the white dude, the police on Have and Have Nots. You ever watch that?
I just like to know what happened on that ride.
Yeah.
that
why he had to murder him. Why he felt like he needed
because
to
you know
murder
this
him.
guy. You
Right.
gave him a ride.
Right.
And then you come back and you kill him.
Yeah. Strange behavior, no doubt. You know, and that is so crazy because when you go back and we go back to the George Floyd case, I was watching an interview last night and the prosecution team, who by all accounts did a brilliant job of presenting a case against Chauvin. They said they intentionally didn't bring into focus Chauvin's past record of brutality against black people.
Didn't need to.
That's what they said. They said we didn't need to.
Just focus on what happened.
Yeah.
Because America saw that.
Yeah.
The world saw that.
Mm.
So their case was to amplify what the world saw. Just keep beating that drum. Just keep beating that drum every day. Because that's what made America, that's what made the world upset. So if you go outside of that line, you don't know what may take place. So
don't know how people will respond.
Stay there. Stay right there. That's what got the attention of this world. And every day I watched it, I watched it saying, don't go no further. Just stay right there. Just stay right there. Now, I brought that case up because there was another case about 2 years ago where there was a sheriff that 2 men went missing. Both of these men got a ride by this sheriff officer. Never found again. Car broke down, car stopped, whatever. He gives him a ride, disappeared. They arrested him on something entirely different, but he never testified to the fact of what happened to these 2 gentlemen, separate occasions that took place. Strange things happen.
Strange things happen. Speaking of strange, man, I had a young man came by the church a couple of days ago, 4-year-old son with him. He sits down and we sit out on the front porch, and he tells me his story. He said he had a job that had called him, and he was going to Texas to start this new job. Single parent, 4-year-old son. In the car, he said he had worked, pulled his stuff together, bought him a little Ford Fusion, and he traveling through Mississippi on his way to Texas. And the brother got these big, beautiful locks. Look like his hair has never been cut in his life, right? Yeah. So just these big, giant locks, right?
Yeah.
So he said, police came up beside him. He riding. Police come up beside him, and so he's not speeding or anything, and so he just slowed down to let the police, let the people go on past him. He said the police slowed down, got behind him, and we didn't put the lights on him. So he said he pulled over, and he said, and it was dark. It was, and he feeling crazy and strange. And the dude had another police with him, sheriffs. All right. So they pull him over, and he's saying, okay, so
what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
You got any drugs in the car?
Oh, man.
No. Give me your license. Gave him his license, registration, gave it to him, took back, ran it, came back clean. And he said, so tell me why you stopping me. You mind if we search the car?
Oh, boy.
And he was like, yeah, I mean, why you, man, I'm just trying to make it to my job, man, out here.
Right.
Said things kept transpiring. He was like, okay. He let me go.
Right.
So he said, I rode down the street a little bit, and I out down the highway, and he said, I took the off ramp so I could get to where some light was. Right. He said when he got to the end of the off ramp, that the police came up behind him and with the lights on, and then pushed him over an embankment. Okay, with his 4-year-old son in the back of the car.
What?
All right, and
Push the car?
pushed the car with the police car. He pushed his car over an embankment
After the stop.
after the stop. After the stop, all right. And you can see he was like, this what happened to my face. He said the glass broke and cut my face, bust my lip. My lip was hanging off. And he said he said when he came and he drugged me out of the car, he's like, my leg is messed up, my hip is messed up, my face is scarred up. He said, I got up because his leg was broke. He said, I got up and I stood up and I fell down. I couldn't walk. So the dude said, drug him out of the ravine, then called the ambulance because he was obviously messed up. All right. The baby was fine. And he said they kept his driver's license, kept his credential, so his car was totaled. And then they said, well, just a mistake, then, and that's just it. And he said they tried to take his child from him. They called the Child Protective Services to take his child from him. And after living in a hotel out there for a couple of weeks, they finally gave his child back.
What?
Yeah, bruh. And and he was like, man, I'm just trying to find a way to try to pull stuff back together again, because I don't have no car no more. The little money I had saved gone. The job I was going to is gone. You know what I mean? And I was just trying to make sure that my son was safe. I'm like, and when you say strange things happen, folks come up missing, what he was clear about it was they was trying to make him come up missing.
Yeah.
They was trying to make him and this baby come up missing. And if he hadn't driven off, we probably would have never ever heard from him again. You know what I mean?
This is bad.
And there's, of course, no one is suggesting that all police get down like that.
Yeah.
But the reality is that there are too many that do. Yeah. There are too many that do, which leads us, Brother Fauntleroy, to the major story that has been getting some measure of television coverage on the major networks, which is the obvious murder of Andrew Brown Jr.
Yeah.
What appears to be like a murder, Elizabeth City, North Carolina. You know anything about EC? You know anything about Elizabeth City?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, see, what people don't understand, I had to tell folks, wherever there is a historically black college or university, yep, you got people that's going to be in the vicinity who are thinking, yep, right? And you got white folks who going to be mad.
Yep. Yep.
Because white folks don't like black people who think.
Nope.
Okay. Nope. So the sheriff rolls up on this brother with what, 8 or 9 of them?
In the back of a pickup truck. Yeah.
And they roll on this dude and they blow his damn brains out.
Yeah. See, and they're going on, they're doing an offense of, well, he's known to be a danger. It was a drug warrant. It was a high intensity stop. We knew we were going to be involved in. So they're painting this picture to put into the mindset of America before the violent black man.
Oh yeah, they say he sold crack, meth, marijuana, everything. He was like a monster.
And see, there's this thing, and you know this just as well as your viewers. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you have to do something.
Right.
The days of the justifying shooting a fleeing felon, that's so old now. And even though it's still in the books, you've got a fleeing felon And if you believe that that person may be a threat to the community, or the surrounding area, or to others, then you can use deadly force, and that's mostly for kidnapping, people involved in kidnapping, or someone involved in a murder that's fresh at that particular time, and they flee, and they could possibly take a hostage or something like that. This was a situation of, again, you know who he is, you know where he lives. The best weapon that you have is the radio. He's leaving. Follow him, catch him, pin him in, and then do what you got to do from there. But this was an all-out assault. Yeah. And here's how I know without knowing, is how long it's taken for the body camera to come out. I'm gonna say right here, this is going to be, we're going to find ourselves in more marches and everything else. This is going to be another pandemic.
This Andrew Brown situation.
Yeah. This is going to be bad.
It's going to be a George Floyd 2 kind of situation.
On steroids.
And you know,
on steroids.
Because I be trying to tell people, I used to live in North Carolina. You can't sleep on North Carolina Negroes. Black people, you know, generally in the Southeast, really we some different kind of black people, you know what I'm saying?
Different folk.
And you know, in North Carolina, you had black people who like owned. Yeah. And in Elizabeth City, it's a place where black people were, you know, have the entrepreneurial spirit. They have a sense of self-respect.
Yes, sir.
And a sense of dignity.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? And
historic.
Right, it's historic.
Historic.
And so them people are not to be played. Like Virginia folks, like South Carolina Negroes, they don't really get down like that, you know, because one of the reasons is Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina has always been majority black. Yeah. Always. Yeah. They'll tell us anything. Yeah. They'll tell you anything, but the reality of the truth, the fact of the matter is, black folks have always been majority in these states.
Yes, sir.
And so they have a different kind of attitude. And I don't think that black people are going to lay down and take this. We're trying to, I think that what we often get seduced into doing is waiting to see what they're going to say, waiting for them to reveal evidence. Yeah. But it was a sister that was across the street who said, I saw everything. I'll tell you what happened. They roll up. He tried to drive off.
They started shooting.
And they started shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was that simple. I just saw it.
Yeah.
You know?
So, you know, this whole thing of him being a fleeing felon, which I think they're going to try to plant the tree in, that ain't going to work, man. That ain't going to roll. But again, the system has to be restructured. The system, the first thing we got to, I believe that we have to do is we got to get this system to the point where it identifies the bad officers and then gets rid of them. And then we got to put a system in place that from recruitment to retirement, there's a constant monitoring of the officers that you get. Mm-hmm. There's got to be a mental health portion of policing on both sides, on the call and of the monitoring of officers. On a quarterly basis. When they have in-service training, the in-service training has to be mental health surveys, mental health evaluations to see where they are. There has to be some form of self-care in there where they go through some form of getting away from the job and some type of way that they get back to.
Because I imagine it's a stressful.
Oh, it is. It is because in real talk, here's what you're dealing with. They come and they have to deal with, for the most part, the worst of the worst and everything. They're dealing with robberies. They're dealing with rapes. They're dealing with child molestation. They're dealing with drug dealing. The black cop. I did a podcast on the trinity of a black officer, And what they have to go through, they have to be counselor, they got to be uncle, dad, and they have to be officer. So they've got a Trinitarian issue with them. So now with all of that, then they got to go home.
Right.
And they got to deal with being husband,
right,
or son or daughter. And then they wake up in the morning and they have a bad day. And they go out and meet with somebody like me or you having a bad day. So there's got to be some relief from that is constant and a constant reminder of the value of self-care. Then there's got to be a national registry so that me as a bad officer can't leave Atlanta and go to San Francisco and become an officer there.
Right.
With my bad problems.
Right.
It just can't happen.
You know what? They
Just
got to
can't
do thing now. Cause I mean, they just got what they call a clearinghouse. There needs to be. Look, they have done that for truckers.
Yeah.
No longer can a truck driver get a ticket in Georgia and go drive a truck in California.
Yeah.
They got a clearinghouse. They cut that out. The same. I mean, so it ain't rocket science. It can be done. If you can do it for truckers, you can do it for police. But this is the question I want to ask you, Fun Leroy. And I want to. This is something that I've been wondering about. Do you think that police response to the George Floyd verdict, and I'm talking about nationally, not just in Minneapolis, but nationally, do you think that this is going to bring about a backlash, or will there merely be an acquiescence to what has been described as, you know, the new approach to policing? Do you think the police gonna get better, or do you think that they gonna get worse?
There's an old guard to those departments, unfortunately, that have some bad actors that say that, well, I'm going to do what we can for our brothers and sisters in blue. We ain't taking this. And it's going to be a bad response. Because the mentality is, oh, you think you got one over on us? We'll show you. Now, that's not the majority. But unfortunately, it's that small minority that outshines the majority of good. And in these little small towns, it's going to happen.
When we come back on the other side, man, we got to go to Columbus. All right. I'm talking about Columbus, Ohio. I'm talking about the place where the mayor has invited the Department of Justice to come and investigate the police. Like our brother from Minneapolis said, I call the police on the police.
Bring them in.
So the mayor then called the police.
Yes, sir.
On the police.
Yes, sir.
In Columbus.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back with more of the Movement Raw and Uncut. Special guest, and I just call him, our law enforcement correspondent, expert, none other than Pastor Jeffrey Fauntleroy. See you in a minute.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Something that you can't imagine. Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Something that you can't imagine. Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling. Can you imagine we're giving you something that you can't imagine? Sound is a living organism traveling.
That's why I tell y'all about that time. Y'all don't know who that is.
Yeah, I told, man. Come find out. One of the guys I told on, right? We out one day, and young boy, they stop him, and he pulls the guy's wallet, and he pulls out
Laughing stock. Oh, what a joke. Papi show mascot. In Africa, Papi show mascot. In the Americas, Papi show mascot. In Europe, Papi show mascot. In the Caribbean. What are you drifting? This a crucial time. Say, why are you sleeping at this hour? I ask. What are you drifting? This a crucial time. Say, why are you sleeping at this hour? Dressed in time to be cool fool. Every day, wearing your designer clothes, weighing down my jewelry and trinkets. Driving them expensive cars, yet you know you won't get far. Don't you know you're set up for all? Papi show mascot in Africa, Papi show mascot in the Americas, Papi show mascot
oh,
in
We laugh.
Papi show mascot in the Caribbean.
So, we did
That's Santana Book. Y'all,
Why are you sleeping at this hour?
I love Front Leroy. He offers detox. You know, he was last time he was detoxing. He wasn't eating no chicken.
Oh, God, that was a rough period in my life. That was a rough period in my life.
Yeah, he was detoxing last time, so he didn't eat no chicken with me. But let's go around here.
I had the nerve to do that last Monday to start the 10-day again. Man, by Wednesday, I was like, nah, bro. I'm trying to think and not eat. No.
It's hard. Santana Pub. I'm eating Santana Pub. I'm smelling like doggone Sun Goddess Sin, some drinking sea moss. You sure we done done the under the sea moss commercial today? I like when see Sister Deborah drink that sea moss.
The sea moss is everything.
I'm gonna give me some. I'm gonna drink it. Some on TV too today.
I buy mine from overseas
Chicken
and blend it myself.
Chicken and sea moss. It don't get no better. Back in the studio with Pastor Jeffrey Fauntleroy, former police expert, consultant in law enforcement. Thankful to have him here, and thankful that he always avails himself to help us to work through and think through some of the events that are happening and are covered in the news that speak to his expertise in law enforcement. So welcome back to the show, and y'all please forgive me, but I ain't gonna lie, these chicken wings hitting like a mug.
Let me say this to you also in reference, and I thank you for all your compliments. But the one thing that I'm fortunate enough, and you are also, is that I would never give an opinion to something that I haven't been involved in myself. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, all of these events that have taken place, I've been involved.
Right.
In some of the same type things, mm-hmm. and had a reaction. Now, I can't speak to the mindset of that person at that particular time because they made that decision. Mm-hmm. But again, as I said to you before, as you well know, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you have to.
You know, I you know me, and I say all this all the time. Just you damn right. Just because somebody might have been selling slaves, don't mean you had to buy none. You know what I'm saying? So don't.
I didn't see it like that, but yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, whatever. We getting ready to close, but I wanted for us to spend some time talking about the Ma'Khia Bryant case in Columbus, Ohio. Now, I don't want to try to put you in a spot wherein you would. Well, no, I do. Given what we saw on the body cam.
Let's go before that.
Okay. So so let's go to the front. To the front of it, let's go to when Ma'Khia Bryant got on the telephone, called 911 for the police. Before that?
Let's go deeper than that.
Start where you want to start.
Let's go with the fact that this is a young lady who had been through the foster parent cycle, mm-hmm. who is now with a mother who is reported to have big problems with her, mm-hmm. and who is reportedly the one who called these girls to the house. Father being there, and the mother was in the process of trying to reestablish a relationship with her. Mm-hmm. The father was her advocate in the household. Mm-hmm. That's the one that you see pushing the girls and kicking and all that. Mm-hmm. She's carrying all of that baggage. These girls come and the button is pushed. She mm-hmm. is out of control now. Mm-hmm. She's getting bullied. She's getting jumped on. Mm-hmm. She's got problems with her mama in her own house. Mm-hmm. She's in a foster home, and all of that is on her mind. She pushes the button. These girls come and bully her. She's gone. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. Mm-hmm. And we saw this young lady, this precious queen, take that knife and rear back. And we don't know what was going to take place. The officer arrives on the scene. And again, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you have to. Mm-hmm. A knife attack is a bad attack. Things can happen in an instant with a knife. You can get cut, get hit in the jugular, get hit in that femoral artery, and bleed out. I've seen it happen. Would I would have shot? No. We had an incident in our city where we had 2 weeks of hell with a group of young ladies who were fighting all over the city. Never forget going to the high school to a call of a major fight, getting into the school and just looking like, where do we start? Hair flying, clothes flying, lefts and rights, punches in bunches. My God. All we can do is grab and separate. I grab one, throw it to the person, they put it in one office. Somebody grabs another, we got offices filled up with girls fighting. Found out what's going on. I carry something called an ASP, ASP. Those in law enforcement know it's an expandable baton, metal thing. And when it comes out, you hear that, and it scares the heck out of you. And a lot of times I would use that to stun a person because when it hits you, it gets your attention. It gets your attention. Like, you know, And like whatever weapon you have, you drop it. Because it's a slow process from the pain, from the brain telling the body so it stuns you. I would have used that because I saw that she was getting ready to inflict some injury to her. What I would have shot, no, I would not have, especially 4 times. Tase, yeah. Ass, yeah. Weapon, last resort. But that's me, because here's the thing that we had. Again, I knew the people. So there was a different relationship. I was in the neighborhood. So if I say, hey, put that down, it's going to be a familiar voice. You know what I mean? Even though sometimes when when that button is pushed, they don't care familiar voice or whatever. But a tackle, I mean, he had every justification to do what he did, because the flip side of that is, on the parent side of that young lady, hey, that was my daughter. If that man didn't do what he did, my daughter might be dead right now. So my heart goes out to that young lady, but she made the decision to stab my daughter, maybe to death. And that man saved my life. So
talk about this. What's the difference between the Andrew Brown murder and no video coming out, and the Ma'Khia Bryant murder? Both of them happening on the day of the verdict, of the George Floyd verdict, but immediate release of video with the Ma'Khia Bryant. No release whatsoever with the Andrew Brown. What is it? Just merely a difference in jurisdiction, or is there something deeper than that?
It is officials who wanted to get out in front of this and get the narrative out first to say, hey, look, this officer was saving this young lady's life, and it was a split-second decision. Now we're going to look into this. We're going to look at it further, but I wanted you to see what he was up against.
Okay. Now, bump that up against the fact that the mayor of Columbus has invited the Department of Justice to come in and investigate the Columbus Police Department, right? And it's revealed, and now national knowledge, that there was a problem already amiss with the Columbus Police Department.
Absolutely.
Their relationship with the Black community was at best strained. And also I was looking at, you can see the surroundings and see the neighborhood, manicured lawns.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
clearly a middle class kind of like neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'm just, it's so many variables that are a part of the conversation, and I'm just not able to make sense out of it. Because I ain't gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, police had to shoot her because she was getting ready to stab the girl. That's the first thing I said. And then when I started thinking about it and looking at it and ruminating over it and reflecting, and so I came up with a different perspective and understanding. How is it? I don't even think it's possible for you to be a police unless you go through those kind of scenarios in your mind, like constantly.
Well, again, I talked to you the last time about training,
right?
And how because of budget cuts, officers are not doing the training that they used to. We were fortunate because we did simunitions and we did training. Whenever we saw something, that's what we trained on. What would you do? How would you handle this? So we went through every scenario possible except deadly force, and that being the last resort. So we trained constantly on these type of scenarios, what to do, shoot, don't shoot. And then we had these thing called simunitions, these little plastic bullets that, when you got popped with one, you were reminded of the power that comes out of that weapon. Okay, so.
But it won't kill you.
Yeah, it won't kill you. It won't kill you.
Let's get you just
But
right.
It'll let you know what to do, what not to do. So training is key. And you remember what I said. under pressure, you always revert back to your training.
Now, you made that point. I got another point that I want you to kind of infuse into.
So if you train to shoot to kill all the time, under pressure, what are you going to do?
Thank you. So you got out in front of my question. Because my thing is, every time we see police, matter of fact, whenever we see people with a weapon who are training on a firing range, they are not firing at a silhouette that includes the waist down. It's only the torso and the head. And the police are trained to aim at the torso or the head.
Under pressure, you always revert back to your training.
So if that's what you train, so when people say we got to do some, the police ain't trained, they are trained and they doing what they are trained to do.
That's why I say training has to include non-lethal situations. What do we do to stop an incident without deadly force?
Right.
Gotta train. You gotta train.
So, and I was listening to someone.
So budgets, when we talk about defunding the police, I say reallocate the funding.
But that's what defund means.
That's all it means.
Defund means reallocate. It doesn't mean to eliminate all funding to police. It means move some of the funds into different spaces where they might be more helpful to the community, since the police supposedly exist to serve and protect the community.
Now, I want you to do your investigation on Philadelphia District Attorney, this one that is running now. And I want you to look at the stance that the Philadelphia Fraternal Order of Police president, what he's taking as far as trying to boost somebody up, because this district attorney has made a list and has.
I was talking about the newly elected one.
Yeah.
The one he going through, he cleaning house.
Yeah, he's made a list of all these police officers who he said, I will not have them testify in the court of law. I can't fire them, but I'm not going to have them testify in the court of law. And all these cases are being looked at again. And these are bad officers, man. These are really bad guys and gals. Mm-hmm. And they include every color. And look at the pressure that he's under as opposed to Lynn Abraham and what she did and the person behind that. There's a district attorney in Philadelphia right now who they know has added yeast to some cases. So when we talk about this whole policing thing, let's look at, that's why I always use in my language, language is a big thing. I use law enforcement because it's corrections, it's the court, and it's the police. And it's the whole trinity of things that we've got to deal with. And that's why it's important for us to vote. That's why it's important for us to protect those who are incarcerated, to not have their voting rights stripped away from them because of laws such as one that's going in the books now for racing will be a felony. And of course, with a felony, you can't vote.
Right. For doing what kids do in cars.
No, I understand. Let's chill it out, because I get a little mad at 3 o'clock in the morning where all I hear is, "Arr!" But, a felony?
Right.
So, so going back to Ohio, though, Doc.
But it's all about criminalization of black people. I've said this 1,000 times. If they find out that black men love purple annihilators, purple annihilators will be against the law before the end of the damn month. Yeah. If they find out this is what we love and all we want is purple annihilators. Yeah. It'll be
they just said
it'll be a felony.
They just said it's a chicken shortage. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, hold on.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. They said it's a chicken shortage. Real
talk.
Oh
Lord, hold on.
Yeah, real talk.
We got to do something.
That was national news.
We got to do something. Somebody called Joe. Helen, would you get Joe Biden on the phone, please? Because we can't have this.
No, I'm real talk. They said it's a chicken shortage.
And I am serious. You think I'm playing?
Yeah. There's a chicken shortage.
I don't play certain things. I don't play about.
Folks in the hood, man, that got them chickens running around. You need to let them know, hey, Take care of these
chickens.
chickens.
It's getting ready to be a pandemic.
But Columbus, again, it goes back to what I keep saying. Two things. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to. And the second part of that is, under pressure, you always revert back to your training. Listen, I feel bad for this officer. It was a split-second decision that he had to make. And based upon his training, under pressure, he did what he knew to do. He saw a knife go back, saw violence taking place, and he shot. And he didn't shoot one time. He shot 4 times because we're taught to at least double tap. He shot 4 times.
You know, I was thinking if it had been me, because the first thing that averted my attention went to was the brother like kicking a girl in the head.
Yeah, he's trying to get these girls off of this girl.
Not knowing what happened, and I roll up.
Yeah.
Now, I probably would have popped him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing you kick a woman.
Right.
That's what my training would have taken me.
Well, the call was a girl with a knife trying to kill some girls.
Oh, I thought it was the call was her calling saying there's some people here.
Well, yeah, that was. But one of the other calls was a female with a knife. So now all of these calls are coming through.
I bet there's a lot of teachers though saying, "Damn, that's a punk ass police." Because I done broke up 3 fights with girl with a knife just this month. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I do.
I mean, I do. Right around the corner when I used to work over at Eddie Mayer's house, chilling to be outside about to fight. I done jumped in between folk with broken bottles, getting ready to, you know.
I taught
thanks be to God
for 3 years in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
And man, I stopped because I said I'm breaking up more fights in high school than I did in my 25 years of police. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't retire to do this.
Right.
But we have a problem, Doc. We have a problem. And it's an extensive problem. And it's not just a police problem. It's a systematic problem. And law enforcement is part of that system that's broken. But we got the other problems that feed into that. And we got to work on it all at the same time. It can't be just this or that. It has to be this and that at the same time.
I heard somebody say you got to change the tire while the car's still rolling. And that's very difficult to do.
That's one of the best things I heard. You got to change the tire while the car's still rolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the challenge before us.
It is, and it's not impossible, but we cannot take our hands off the wheel at this point. And it takes all of us. And really, it is going to take the faith-based community to get involved in this. We've got to do the things that you're doing. You got to educate. You got to reach out to the community. We've got to be the custodians and the stewards over our community so that we can hear what's going on, so that we can share what they need to do, and we can change these systems because we have influence over people and we have God on our side. And if we don't continue to do what we can for our people in all areas, we'll fail. We'll fail. And we'll fail miserably.
And I have said, and I believe, and I hate to admit it, but it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And that is where we are.
Well, Doc, look what is being revealed in this process. We're finding out who has been doing what and who has not been doing what. And then those who have been doing things that aren't correct for our community, we found that out. So a lot of things the shade is being pulled away in this situation. So as it gets worse, the shades will continue to be drawn back, and we'll be able to identify those who have not been doing what needs to be done, get them out the way, and we got to increase what we do.
All right, that's the approach from the expert in law enforcement.
I don't know about that.
You're an expert,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you share your expertise with us on the Movement Raw and Uncut. I'll catch you later on this month or early next month, or the next time they kill somebody.
Let's hope it
on
doesn't.
video,
Let's hope it
which will
doesn't.
probably be tomorrow.
Oh,
you know,
God.
so because that's kind of what we used to now. What is it? Once every 20 something hours?
And here's the thing. We're only dealing with what we know.
Right. Yeah.
Like the story you told about this young man getting pushed off the road. We never heard about that.
Right. And you never will unless you tune into the Movement Raw and Uncut from 11-ish to 1-ish Monday through Thursday, where we have great guests like Jeffrey Fauntleroy. Thank you, my brother, for being a part of the show.
Thank you for asking.
Today. Put your hand together, you audience, you wherever you are. Boy, I tell you, big not little, I know you watching. You would be to hit the button by now. And ran outside and ate some chicken and everything. I just love messing with Craig because he don't say nothing. So it's easy, it's easy to talk shit to somebody who don't say nothing back.
Yeah, you gotta be careful because one
he
gonna say something.
Yeah, well, until then.
It's like living with a quiet wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a certain death. At any rate, hey y'all, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be our last show for the week. As you heard me say earlier today, I'll be headed to go see about my baby daughter, my oldest daughter, who is graduating from the University of South Carolina School of Law with her Juris Doctorate. And talking about she ain't gonna defend me in the court of law. She's a lie. I might have to go to jail and she gonna have to keep me out. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow though. We gonna kick it real big tomorrow. Thank you, Jeffrey Fauntleroy.
Yes, sir.
Peace to the Archbishop and the Holy Family, to the blood community I love so well. The Frederica Jones and the chicken. The HC and the place to be. To Craig Miggity, making everything. I mean, this Negro doing everything. Taking out the garbage, everything. Doing the video, the audio, the camera, the setup, the breakdown, and the doggone eating chicken. All at the same time with a chicken bone in his hand. Yes, Lord. And so I see y'all until tomorrow. Peace to the people, power to the people. Roof, 36 years strong.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Great.
The mouths of the wise teach knowledge, but the lips of the fool talking foolishness. Almighty, me not like them hypocrites, me not like them parasites. Them scheme by day, them plot by night, striving on the plight of the poor and the sufferers. Jah know them are backstabbers, Jah know them are bloodsuckers. I can't take them vampires, cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I'm fighting for what Satan. Them deceptive beast, always scheming and deceiving, wheeling, dealing and misleading, stealing and concealing, playing with the people's feeling. Who they